All right, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. Today we are talking Pittsburgh Steelers tight end Darnell Washington. I tell you what, guys, this guy is a monster. He is a beast, and when you look at his film, it just looks at a whole nother level. He's a phenomenal force. I don't know if we've ever seen anybody quite like him in the National Football League, and we'll break down everything he did so well in Pittsburgh's most recent victory. He's a fun guy to watch, just a destroyer of defenses. As always, in the comment section below, give us any feedback that you might have. If you're a fan of these film reviews and want to help support us so we can do more of them, consider becoming a member of our channel. There's a link in the description box below that will take you right there. But without further ado, let's jump right into the film. All right, let's get started with the fun play. And there's Washington right there, line up in a tight end kind of H-back alignment, offset of the right tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And his assignment here is pretty simple. He's going to chip against number 44 to kind of help out his tackle right there, kind of run 44 outside so that way he stays away from the quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. And then he's just going to leak out in the middle of the field just as a check down. And you can see the Dolphins, they're going to drop into zone coverage, and they're going to leave this area completely vacated. And their thought is that they can rally to the football and attack whoever's in that area. The problem is number 80 is in that area, and he's a monster to get on the ground. Phenomenal play from the tight end. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. Rodgers has time, all kinds of time. Hits Washington, runs over one guy right there. Takes about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Darn near the entire team to get him down on the ground. Nice play. All right, let's break this down. Pretty simple schematically from Washington. Again, first step, most important step in my book is to get a good chip on number 44 to help out your tackle. Does just that right here. And here's the thing. Robinson, you can see right there, he runs away from the contact. You see that right there? Now, he's doing a dip and rip, so he's not like literally running away, but he's winding himself out so much, Robinson is, that he's not going to get to Rodgers no matter what, and the tackle is no problem. By the time 44 from Miami, Robinson gets to the offensive lineman, the ball is already halfway to Washington. So again, Darnell Washington, number 80 right here, great job helping out his tackle. Love to see that. Becomes a check down, good catch, and look him just run over people. I mean, they just can't tackle him. Look at this, guys. Boom. I mean, this DB right here, number 29, literally hits him square in the knee, it looks like, and he can't get him down. And then everyone else tries to get him down, and they can't either. This guy is just a monster. He's just an untackable machine. You know, Washington, one of these guys, when you put on the film and look at all the plays he makes, and we'll break down a lot of his crazier plays in this film review, it just doesn't look human. It looks like, you know, what you used to see in high school football, where there'd be one guy who was going D1 against a bunch of guys that were like 5'8", 180. That's what it's like watching Darnell Washington in the National Football League, just running over people like it's nothing. Crazy good player right here, number 80. All right, from the wide copy, you can see Washington right there, forces Robinson wide, sells into the check down, catches the football, runs over one guy. How many guys does it take to bring him down? What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. There's 7 Miami Dolphins finally required to bring number 80 down. You talk about a special player. This reminds me, you ever see those old highlight films of like 1950s NFL stars like Mackey or Ditka or any of those guys where it took like 8 guys to tackle them and they didn't look very fast, but they're just running over people? That's who Washington reminds me of. Just a throwback where he's just bigger and stronger than everyone else on the field. And this play is just a perfect example of this. What a monster that the Pittsburgh Steelers have. All right, let's get into more traditional blocking. There's Washington right there, lined up in kind of an H-back alignment. You can see the Steelers have got a heavy tackle at the line of scrimmage and a tight end structure here. And it's just going to be an outside zone concept here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Normally how you want this to work is you want to have these guys base reach these in-man on the line of scrimmage to get them moving this way, and the running back will cut back behind the block. But there's always the option, if you have the ability to, like Washington does, to literally reach the in-man line of scrimmage, and the running back will then keep it wide. It's just so rare to happen just because these defensive ends, these outside linebackers, their whole goal in life is to not get reached, to make sure they secure the edge. Washington, as a phenomenal blocker, he gets them pinned, secures the edge for the offense. Gainwell hits it outside for a nice play. Let's check it out. There's a snap. There's a toss. Gets to the edge. Nice play. All right, let's break this down. Washington, point of attack on number 8. No help. Reaches number 8, secures the edge. Nicely done. It doesn't look like anything special, guys, but I can't tell you how hard this is. Most teams can't run this play just because whoever they have at tight end or heavy tackle just can't reach, can't secure the edge, right? Defensive ends blow this play up. In fact, most of the time what you see is crackback blocks where they'll have a wide receiver crack back on the defensive end and try and pull the tight end or the tackle around just because they at least have a chance that way. Washington gives the Steelers offense just a whole nother element because of plays like this. Again, you talk about a good athlete. He's a big, strong, physical dude. He's a monster, of course, but he's a good football player in terms of running his feet and getting the job done. He's a great guy to see on social media and the highlights for running over people as a receiver, and boy, oh boy, is it fun to watch like we showed in the very first play. but he's also a really good blocker in terms of winning at the point of attack. Nice job here by number 80, securing the edge, opening up the running lane for number 14.
As we can see here, Washington's able to use his elite size in the run blocking game, and has become the second best run blocking tight end in the NFL, has a massive 76.8 run blocking grade this season. He is a monster in the run game, and hopefully the Steelers can lean on him in that aspect going forward.
All right, this next play may be my favorite play from Washington all night long, and there he is right there, number 80, lined up in kind of an H-back alignment right there for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this is a two-part assignment here for Washington. First part, chip Chop Robinson, the edge defender right there to help out his buddy, the right tackle, and it's a heck of a chip. 44 just gets completely discombobulated, basically negates him completely. Then he's going to get out and be a lead blocker for a screen, and he puts another guy on the ground. He gets a 2-for-1 on this play. Great job by Washington. Let's check it out. There's a snap. There's a throw to the right. There's Washington getting him on the ground right there. You can see him throw him down, just abuse him. Look at this, guys. Just abuse him. Love that. You talk about nasty. You talk about mentality. I love to see it. Washington is a guy who likes to destroy people. I love it. Let's go back to the very beginning of the play here. Look at this chip block. Boom. Look at 44. He's like, I'm going to get a sack. I'm going to rush the passer. And I don't know where I am. He doesn't even get past the line of scrimmage. Where was the ball snap, guys? Right? He ends up, he gets about within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage. He just gets completely shocked off his path. He basically has to become a pursuit player at this point. 76 doesn't even have to touch him, right? Doesn't even get close to touching him, right? Because that's how good a chip it was. But here's the second part that I love, the effort from Washington. Again, great chip there, awesome, A+. Hustle down the field, get a block, nicely done, and then finish with some nastiness. A+ all around from number 80. I love the attitude. I love the effort. Nice job. All right, from the wide copy, looks even better. You can see Washington right there. Watch this chip. Boom. Love to see that. Gets out in field, gets on a guy, throws him to the ground. Love it. Love the nastiness. Love the physicality. Watch 44 on this chip block right here. Look at his arms flail like it's a cartoon. Right? Look at it. He's like, what the heck? What happened? That's what he's like. He's like, I'm going to be a superstar. I'm going to rush the passer. And I just got hit in the face. I don't know what's going on. This is Washington. Again, beast, powerful. Like I mentioned before, it's like watching a guy who's D1 in high school against a bunch of guys who are really bummed out about getting a D on their calculus test. That's what Washington looks like. And then gets up to the next level, executes, delivers a nice block. Again, he's a good football player. Whether it's point of attack, run blocking, chipping, catching the football, or getting downfield, leading in space like we see here for the Steelers, nice job by number 80. All right, going back to the running game, and there's Washington right there again. He's kind of the second tight end lined up. You can see they got a heavy tackle, the 6 offensive linemen in the game right there. It's going to be a zone concept working right at 80 and 74, and it's going to be a zone double team. These two guys double teaming the defensive end, outside linebacker, working up to the next level. And the whole plan here for the Pittsburgh Steelers is to have these two guys dislocate the defense this way and have the running back basically cut back right behind it just like this as everyone else works their zone track for the offense. It's a really good idea and a great concept because these two guys, especially Washington, just obliterate the defense. They get great movement, and the best part is because everyone is so worried about Washington absolutely humiliating them, it winds out the defense more. They start jumping around blocks, which creates an even bigger hole. Let's check it out. There's a snap. There's the toss. There's a huge cutback. Nice hurdle. Look at this hurdle. Fumbles at the end, but the ground caused the fumble, so no harm, no foul there. All right, let's look at Washington right there. Number 74, work up to the next level. Here's the beautiful part. When he comes on the next linebacker or tries to come off on the linebacker, where's the linebacker? Running around blocks like he's nowhere near it. He should be filling aggressively like right here, wanting to hit Washington right in the face. But listen, I don't blame this linebacker. Would you want to hit number 80 right in the face? I sure wouldn't. But this is the impact of Washington. Because he's so big, strong, and powerful and such a game changer, he forces defenders to change how they like to play. Again, you got a guy right here running around blocks, and that's how you get huge cutbacks. I mean, look at this lane. Look at this hole right here. That's absolutely massive. Now, give credit where credit is due. Steelers do a good job. The left tackle and left guard, good block there, good block there. So it's pretty well blocked across the board for Pittsburgh. But this is the Washington effect. It gets on people, helps with the double team there. Look at the shock right here. They start moving this guy. Starts with number 80 with 74, doing a lot of work at the end. Nice double team there. But again, you can see the outside linebacker. He wants no part of number 80. He runs completely out of the way, and there's the cutback. Nice job by Pittsburgh.
Well, earlier I referenced that Washington has been great in the run blocking game. He's improving in his pass blocking game. This was a big one for him, a 72.7 pass block grade in this game. versus Miami. And this season, he's only allowed 3 total pressures this year. Great for Washington. Really strong performances in both blocking aspects.
All right, sticking with the running game, and there's Darnell Washington right there, number 80 on the right side of your screen. He's part of a 2 tight end package once again, but it's a traditional tight end, number 81 inside of him. Of course, Washington, the second tight end right there. And it's going to be an inside zone scheme to the offensive left. So we're going to get a base block here, zone double team here, working up to the next level, scoops here, and scoops here. Running back taking the handoff right here and trying to cut back wherever he can find a hole. A key block, obviously, on the backside of these plays is cutting off the backside edge defender right here, and that's Washington's responsibility. Number 2, he's a smart, savvy player. He tries to crash down inside. Washington's job right here, if he tries to crash down, you got to get on him and keep working, and try and finish him inside. That's exactly what number 80 does here. Again, not a perfect block in terms of the result, but I love the physicality. Let's check it out. There's the snap. Inside handoff. North and south. Minimal gain. Decent little run. All right, let's look at Washington on the backside. Again, trying to scoop right there. Gets on him. Keeps running his feet and finishes him. You can see right off the rip here, if we go all the way back to the beginning, he tries to pin him outside, right? He's got the right mindset, but number 2 is a savvy vet. He tries to work across his face. So what does Washington do? Say, listen, man, I'm trying to pin you outside. You want to go across my face? Fine, I'll just finish you in the turf. Nice play. And this is the power that he brings. It's one of those things you can tell how strong someone is when you watch how NFL players react to getting hit by him. And this is what happens here. Washington's trying to just brace him outside. Chubb, number 2, starts running. Then Washington starts running his feet, and now number 2 ends up on his back. This is the impact of Darnell Washington. He's so big, so strong, so powerful that he puts people in the turf all night long. We've already seen it multiple times in this film review. This is why people don't want to hit him. Right? This is why they run away from contact. Just because you end up in the ground with a big dude throwing you in the turf if you try going toe-to-toe with Washington. It's how strong he is. It's how powerful he is. It's his willingness to finish as well. And again, he's got the right idea technique-wise. He's not just a whirling dervish out there just trying to do whatever he wants. He's trying to pin him outside, trying to get him scooped, and when number 2 works across his face, he finishes the block. Nice play. All right, for the wide copy, you see Washington right there at the bottom of your screen. Again, tries to pin number 2, but he ends up just running his feet and putting him in the ground. I mean, this is a good player. Bradley Chubb right here, really nice player, and ends up putting him flat on his back. I love the fact he runs his feet. He's such a big, strong guy, and right there he stops his feet because he's trying to pin him. But again, the moment Chubb tries to work across his face, he picks up running his feet again, and immediately number 2 falls down, immediately just collapses under the power and strength of Darnell Washington. And this is the beast that he is. This is the beast number 80 is. When you see him go up against good players and just see people cave, I mean, watch what happens to the side of the defense. They all just kind of collapse and cave. That's the power. That's the strength. It almost is a little deceptive when you watch it in the film or watch it on the broadcast footage, but I guarantee you, on the field right now, or at least during the game, these guys were feeling it, just the power and strength of number 80. All right, I wanted to take a quick break from today's video to talk about something we're excited to offer, and that is weekly giveaways of a lot of high quality stuff. We appreciate our viewers, and that's why we want to give you guys the opportunity to join these weekly giveaways. There's a link in the description box below that takes you right to it. And this week we're talking about a $350 Yeti Tundra cooler like you see on the screen in front of you. Again, just go to the link in the description box below, enter in your email, and you have a chance to win. The drawings will be made every Sunday. You'll be announced whether you won via email, so make sure you check that out. Again, appreciate our viewers. Now let's get back to the video. All right, this next play is something Darnell Washington needs to work on, and there he is right there on the left side of your screen, kind of an H-back alignment. You can see the Steelers, they're knocking on the door, ball's on the 2-yard line. You can see the goal lines right there, and it's going to be a split zone concept right here for Pittsburgh. So we're going to get a zone block here, base reach here. We're going to get zone double teams right here. We're going to get a scoop technique on the backside. Washington's going to come across the formation and kick out number 2. And the whole goal here for the Pittsburgh offensively is to get movement here, movement there, running back to work this way, and then cut back behind just like this with Washington kicking out right here. That's the whole concept, and it's a good concept. But this is a play right here with Washington. He doesn't do terribly, but he kind of runs into contact here, and it's a good block on number 2, but it could have been a little bit better. This is sort of the improvement Washington needs to bring in terms of consistently getting his body in the right spot in these kind of blocks. Let's check it out. There's a snap. There's the handoff. Gets close. Not quite in. All right, let's look at Washington right here. Again, working across the formation. Hit on number 2. Number 2 again collapses. I mean, this is what happens when you hit Washington. Watch what happens with Chubb. Just falls into the end zone, kind of spinning around. Again, this is the power and strength of number 80. But here's the problem. He actually kind of slows up the pile a little bit, prevents him from scoring actually. Ends up just short of the end zone. Why is that? Because Washington, right there, Head on the wrong side. Got to get your head upfield. You got to attack the line of scrimmage. Goes a little bit too flat. He's trying to get north and south. And listen, part of it is the penetration right there. I get it. He's got to work with what's in front of him. But right here, you get past your guard. You got to get your foot in the ground and turn upfield. Get your head upfield. And he doesn't do it. And it prevents the score. And it's the little technical things with Darnell Washington that I think he needs to improve on. He's still physically dominant, and he does extremely well in terms of standard blocking at the point of attack on the backside like we showcased in this film review. Now he just needs to be a little bit more consistent with his head and body placement with these kind of blocks. Because I think if he can figure this out, he's just the ultimate weapon, because there's not a defensive end alive that can handle Darnell Washington coming to him full speed and surviving it play after play. Their only hope is that he'll miss with his helmet, put his body in a bad position, and you can kind of create a pile like we see right there. But if Washington can figure this out, get his head in the right spot, then defenses, they won't stand a chance. And this Pittsburgh Steelers offense will be much better.
The main improvement I could see for Washington this season is to see more looks in the receiving game, specifically the red zone. With his height of 6'6", 311 pounds, I feel like he could be utilized as a good target in the red zone if he can work on receiving. Hasn't had a whole lot of success in that aspect this year. Only 1 touchdown on the season in very few games, over 50 yards, 2 to be exact. So being better utilized in the receiving game, specifically in the red zone, is something I think he could work on.
All right, let's end on a fun play from Washington, and there he is right there in a standard tight end alignment. And we've seen Washington this entire film review when he's lined up right here. Base reach defensive ends, and the Steelers get outside. We've seen him cut people off on the backside, and the Steelers are able to run it up the middle. We've seen him get some double team blocks and really dent the defense, and the Steelers can cut back behind it, right? Now we're going to see the Steelers fake a running back this direction and then just have him leak out this way, and he's wide open for a big completion. And this is where it gets really tough to stop the Steelers, because you have to account for the power of Washington and the effect he can do as a blocker, whether it's destroying you at the point of attack, pulling and kicking somebody out potentially, whether it's backside cutoffs, or whether it's a double team block and just denting your defense. He can do it all like we've seen in this entire video. Now he's going to fake like he is and leak out this direction. It's just a play fake to the running back after a little pre-snap motion to give him even more space. And it's just an easy throw outside for a big first down. Again, he's hard to tackle in space. Another challenge for defenses. Washington is very quickly becoming a dynamic weapon. Let's check it out. There's the motion. There's a snap. There's a play fake. Washington leaks out, wide open, runs over one guy, goes out of bounds for a big play. I mean, watch number 80 right here. What do you do if you're a DB? I mean, you just get ran over. That's what he does. And what do you do as a defense, right? In this situation right here, you're worried about him just blowing you off the football. You're worried about him double teaming. You're worried about him getting in space in terms of being a lead blocker. Now he's leaking out as a receiver and killing you. Darnell Washington's such an interesting guy. I think he needs to be on the field even more because he's a matchup nightmare. The National Football League is going more heavy packages in terms of multiple tight ends, 2-3 tight end personnel packages. We see this with the Rams. We see this with the Seattle Seahawks. I think the Steelers could really lean into this because Washington's a guy who again, can get open like this and turn these into productive plays, first downs. But he's such a good blocker, whether it's leading in the screen game, the short throws, whether it's in the backside, play side of the run game, whether it's denting the defense. He can do it all and do it all extremely well. Like we see here, though, he can also just leak out there for an easy 15 and run over your defense in the meantime. He's such a good player and very quickly becoming a superstar. I hope the Steelers use him a lot more to finish out the season, and if they make the playoffs, he could be a serious threat to opposing defenses.